Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking some absolutely profound teachings straight from the June 2026 edition of the Bhagavad Padai magazine. Look, if you've ever felt like your own brain is just working against you, or if you're desperately searching for that elusive sense of inner quiet, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to explore the remarkable insights of Sri Bhagavathaya on how to actually unlock the true peaceful nature of your mind. So let's dive right into this. Why is our mind never at peace? I mean, it's a timeless question, isn't it? In our modern hyper-connected world, we're constantly struggling with this deep exhaustion and restlessness. You know the feeling. We overthink the past, we completely panic about the future, and we just totally miss out on what's happening right in front of us. Spiritual seekers have been asking this same exact question for literally thousands of years. But to find the real answer, we actually need to change how we define the mind itself. Section 1. What is the inner instrument? To get to the real root of our restlessness, we have to understand the mechanics of our consciousness. The source refers to this internal apparatus as anthakarnam. Now, obviously, we have external instruments to interact with the world, right? Our hands, feet, eyes, ears. But we also have this internal apparatus. You can't physically see it, sure, but this inner instrument is what actually processes all of our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. It's basically the hidden engine driving everything you do. And what's really fascinating here is that the inner instrument isn't just one big solid block. It's beautifully categorized into 4 distinct interconnected parts that together make up what is known as the whole mind. You've got manam, which is the basic mind, buddhi, the intellect, sittam, the subconscious, and ahangaram, the ego. You've probably heard these terms thrown around pretty loosely before, but Sri Bhagavathaya gives us this incredibly fascinating breakdown of how they actually function together. Let's put this into a relatable, real-world scenario so we can really see these 4 parts in action. Just imagine you're walking down a street, one you walk down every single day. Suddenly, you look ahead and see a massive, highly unusual crowd gathered about, say, 500 meters away. It's totally out of the ordinary. So how does your internal instrument react to that? Let's break it down. Okay, here is the exact sequence. First up, your manam kicks in. It throws options at you, like, hey, let's go check it out, or maybe, yikes, looks like trouble, let's turn down another street. Next, your buddhi steps up to the plate. Buddhi is the decision maker. It picks one of those options. Let's say it decides to go take a look. Third, your sittam, that deep subconscious, reacts to that specific choice by generating feelings. If you chose to investigate, sittam fuels you with a strong feeling of curiosity. If buddhi had chosen to run away, sittam would generate fear. Finally, ahankaram bundles all those generated feelings into a solid identity, giving you that ultimate experience of I am curious or I am afraid. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates how seamlessly our inner world functions in just a fraction of a second. Section 2. Conscious mind versus whole mind. So the absolutely crucial point here is that these 4 parts combined make up our whole mind. But there's this really fascinating power dynamic happening inside of us between our active day-to-day awareness and our much deeper hidden mind. The basic mind, the part that just generates options and chatters away, which the text calls the conscious mind or annarmanam, well, it only holds about 25% of our internal power. When we operate solely from this conscious mind, we're actually pretty weak. We get anxious, we hesitate. But the mujumanam, the whole mind that encompasses all 4 parts working together in total harmony, that operates at a full 100% capacity. Now, you might be wondering, why is the whole mind so powerful? Well, it's because it contains the sittam, our deepest subconscious. The source describes this subconscious as a massive reservoir, holding this almost divine universal energy. In fact, it's described as a little god residing right inside us. When your conscious mind tries to tackle things all by itself, it really struggles. But when it works as a connected piece of the whole mind, tapping directly into this reservoir, it acts with unwavering clarity and immense power. Section 3. Hesitation versus complete clarity. Let's look at a brilliant analogy from the text to really drive home the difference between 25% mind power and 100% mind power. Imagine a grand house. The conscious mind is like the security guard standing out at the gate. The whole mind is the wealthy boss sitting inside. One day, a rough, intimidating guy with a thick mustache and a weapon tucked into his belt shows up and demands to see the boss. The security guard, operating at that 25% power, is completely paralyzed with hesitation and fear. He nervously calls the boss on the intercom, totally unsure of what to do. The boss, however, operating at 100% clarity, calmly tells the guard to send the man in. When this intimidating visitor enters the house, he immediately bows respectfully to the boss, leaves his weapon on the table, and just quietly exits. It's a game changer, right? The security guard represents our conscious mind, always hesitant, always struggling to make decisions. But the boss is our whole mind, completely free of hesitation, effortlessly making decisions, and resolving situations with totally calm authority. And the text uses an even more intense story to hammer this home. It talks about an aging master thief who finally agrees to teach his son the family trade. They break into this huge mansion, and the father tells the son to climb into a massive iron safe to gather all the jewels. As soon as the son is inside, the father slams the heavy door shut, locks it, and completely abandons him. Just imagine the sheer panic of that son, trapped in the dark, sweating, absolutely terrified of getting caught or dying. Unable to even cry out, he's totally paralyzed. This gripping story represents exactly what happens when we're trapped in the confines of our limited 25% conscious mind, completely disconnected from the clarity of the whole mind. We literally become trapped in a dark box of our own anxieties, totally paralyzed by the situations life throws at us. Section 4. Living in the present moment. So the big question is, how do we escape this iron safe of our conscious mind, right? How do we access that calm authority of the whole mind? Sri Bhagavad Aya brings this abstract philosophy into a highly practical, deeply emotional application through a really beautiful story. The story goes that a deeply restless young man climbed a mountain to meet a wise sage. His face was tired, his words were just full of anxiety. He said, "Sir, my mind is never at peace. The mistakes of my past torture me, and the fear of my future just won't let me go. What must I do to live peacefully?" The sage didn't give him a long, drawn-out lecture. Instead, he just smiled and led the young man to a small, wilting plant behind his hut. The sage simply handed the boy some water and told him to water the plant. The boy did so, but carelessly, his mind still totally racing. The sage stopped him. "What were you thinking about just now?" he asked. The boy admitted he was still worrying about yesterday's mistakes and tomorrow's problems. So the sage handed him the water again. "This time," he instructed, "look only at the plant. Feel the soil. Watch every single drop of water, understanding that you are literally giving it life." The boy kneeled down. He looked closely at the withered leaves. He felt the dry earth. He slowly poured the water, completely, 100% absorbed in the action. Suddenly, his face softened. He looked up and said, "Sir, for a few seconds, my mind didn't run anywhere. I experienced a strange, profound peace." And here is the emotional and philosophical peak of this explainer. The sage smiled at the young man and delivered this incredible wisdom. Past is a lesson. Future is a plan. Present is life. By focusing completely on the simple act of watering a plant, the young man connected his conscious mind directly to his deeper whole mind. When you give 100% of your attention to the present moment, all that chaotic chatter of the 25% mind simply vanishes, and you tap straight into that universal reservoir of peace. That is what you absolutely must take away from this. True peace isn't found in fixing the past or securing the future. It's found in completely occupying the present. Section 5. Spiritual Liberation Special Camp. Now, understanding this concept intellectually is one thing, but experiencing it deeply for yourself is another. For those who are moved by this philosophy and want to take a serious, practical step forward, Sri Bhagavad Aya is actually hosting a 3-day direct camp. It's called the Gnana Viduthalai Camp, which translates to Spiritual Liberation Camp. It's taking place from Friday, July 24th to Sunday, July 26th, 2026 at the Sri Bhagavat Bhavan in Salem. This is really for seekers who want to transition from just reading about the whole mind to actually living in it every day. But I do want to highlight something very specific from the text regarding the prerequisites for this event. It is incredibly exclusive. It is limited to exactly 30 selected individuals, and they are very strict about the fact that applicants must have been on a dedicated spiritual search for a minimum of 5 years. The contribution is 10,000 rupees, which covers food and separate accommodation for men and women. But here's what's really striking. Anyone applying must speak directly with Sri Bhagavat Aya over a phone call, and he personally selects who is ready to attend. This level of intimacy and commitment, it's really designed for those who are truly ready for complete spiritual fulfillment. So if you fit that profile and you're ready to take that profound step, the application details and a scan code are available for you. We've covered some incredible ground today, from understanding the intricate mechanics of our inner instrument to realizing how often we let our hesitant 25% conscious mind trap us, to discovering that the ultimate power of the 100% whole mind is unlocked simply by existing completely in the present moment. So I'll leave you with this final thought as you look at your own life today. Are you going to stay trapped in the iron safe of your worries, or are you ready to finally step out, water the plant right in front of you, and awaken your whole mind?